Hello, this is Angelo.
Hello, this is Alexandra.
And we are here with the review of day 3 and priming for day 4 of the Unbreakable Challenge.
Yes.
So, more than halfway belongs to the past.
Already,
And we really believe that you are as inspired and empowered as we are so far with the challenge. But before we begin, I want to ask you something. And you know, and I know that I cannot hear your answer, but I truly hope that it is a sincere one.
Mm-hmm.
And my question to you is this: what is your excuse? What is your excuse? Why are we asking?
Why are we asking this? Because yesterday we saw two amazing teenagers in the VIP room. There were two different cases,
Wow.
two boys. The one was 16 years old from Switzerland, and the other one was 19 years old from California. Their stories were different, their motives were different, and their questions were different. But there was one common thread. They were both super hungry for growth, for creating a business, for doing amazing things, for contributing in this world.
You
And
could
we
see,
were mesmerized by
you
them.
could see the
Yes.
fire in their
Yes.
eyes.
Yes.
You could feel the fire in their souls. And you know that once you get that kindled within, you know that there are very, very, very few challenges that could
Yes.
be truly an obstacle to your way.
Exactly.
I remember
Exactly.
when Kobe Bryant was always saying, if a bear stands in front of me,
Feel sorry for
feel
the bear.
sorry for the bear.
This is how powerful
This is
we
how,
felt.
this is the attitude that we perceived from those two kids yesterday, and we loved it. And this is all it takes, basically. So my question to you is, what is your excuse? And we are asking you this because just in case you have not yet taken action on the Unbreakable business system, a system, it's not a course that you go through whenever you want
Exactly.
and just play around with it and so on. It is a 5-pillar system that you can take and you can go through with Grants and his team guidance. Until February 14th, it will be all over. The whole curriculum will be installed in your mindset.
Yes.
And then, coupled with our coaching through the whole year, you will turn all these new insights into habits. And I don't know if you want to 10x like me and Alexandra committed for our business this
That's
year.
why we're wearing the
But
hats.
what truly matters is that you get how much farther you can go when you have such a powerful system.
Exactly.
And this is what held us back so many years, because we thought that we need to find a system. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. There is someone who has already been to where you want to go. And maybe you don't want to go as far as Grant has gone in the billionaire attitude, in the billionaire results, not just attitude, right? But what truly matters is that you can get so much from this kind of attitude, this kind of mindset. And this is why we attend, not only we take so many notes, but we immediately go and apply these notes into our businesses. And this is how we grow.
Yes.
We don't grow by participating. We grow by applying the knowledge enough until it becomes a habit, until it becomes a part of our subconscious, until it becomes a habit of our operating system. Your smartphone has an operating what? System. So when you turn on your smartphone, it doesn't, work arbitrarily, whatever it wants every single day. It does something, and of course, you may have heard the term garbage in, garbage out in computing. This is what it is. If your program is not right, it won't work. Now, think of the flip side. Imagine a system that has been proven over and over and over again. So, that said, if you're still on the fence, it means that you have at least one objection, one question in your mind. So let us help you. Let us help you realize why this is a mental objection and not a real one. because the system works. Because the system works in such a big scale that in our kind of projects, it can work miracles. And maybe we're playing small by thinking, Denix, I don't know.
Yes, maybe. I think so.
But what truly matters is that instead of trying to reinvent the wheel, we will be applying Grant's teachings. We are already signed up. One of the first people who have signed up. Why? Because we're committed and we know where we want to go. And last but not least, in our meeting back in November, Grant said something very powerful. And he said, no deal has ever been broken because of pricing. So it's not the $997 that hold you back or whatever the price is in the payment scheme. What holds you back, believe it or not, whether you want to accept it or not, and you better believe it now.
I think I know the answer.
Yes, it's the thing that stands between your two ears. It's your mindset. It's all the limitations that will be broken with one of our bonuses. The limiting belief buster, the financial limiting belief buster. We're going to make it specific this time. We have worked this belief buster in many areas, but now it's all about finances, and this is only one of our bonuses. The other two being access for the whole year to my happy and unstoppable inner circle, because let me remind you, your life is the journey, not the destination.
Exactly.
And you want to be happy along the way, otherwise you have failed before you even began. And then the third bonus that we have already announced, because I believe there could be another one along the way.
Well, there might be.
But the third bonus, again, for the whole year, you will have access to our alumni mastermind, which means that whatever question comes up from all the teachings of the Unbreakable business system, you will be able to ask us whatever you want and how you can apply that to your business. You will have our attention. You will have access to our time, our energy, our insights, and our compounded experience. All right. So take advantage of it now. Take advantage of it now and truly commit to making 2023 your year, your super business year.
Your super unbreakable year, right?
That's right.
This is the breakthrough. And also I wanted to add to what Angelo was saying, that the Unbreakable business system is, in a summary, 5 pillars to build an unbreakable business. Okay, so it covers money mindset, marketing, sales, communication, and scaling.
That's right.
So these are the 5 pillars for a really unbreakable business, no matter what is going on in the economy around us.
It sounds simplistic. And by the way, when I went through Grant's offices, there were actually 5 rooms for each one of these 5 pillars. Okay. The mindset room was actually Grant's office.
Of course.
And of course, there were 4 rooms for all the other functions.
Yes.
So this is how important it is to Grant's operations. And you can see the results for yourself. The results speak for themselves. And to tell you the truth, of course, at some point in your mind, you can say, okay, but it is Grant, you know.
Yes,
he has a very powerful personality and attitude, and this is why the 5 pillars work. But
it's not exactly
just
like
because I know Pete Vargas's journey, and I know that when the breakthrough happened, I realized how powerful these pillars are then.
Exactly.
Because Pete Vargas made an incredible breakthrough when he applied these 5 pillars to his business.
Exactly. And also Grant has tested these 5 pillars
in so many areas.
Years ago, in so many areas, in all of his businesses. So this is not an academic course. It is a tried and tested system. That is the big difference.
Yes.
Okay.
So, what happened yesterday? Before we begin about our yesterday's review, I want to tell you one of my favorite quotes, which is from Mark Twain, who said, "If I had more time, I would have written a shorter letter."
Yes.
And we cannot begin to tell you and describe you how much time and energy we invest in order to give you truly the juice, the extract from every single 2-3 hour
session of
day.
the challenge. Yes.
Yes. And why we do that? because we truly care about you and we truly respect your time. And we want to give you impact. We don't want, like to repeat things that we heard yesterday. We want to give you our angle and to give it to you in a concise way so that it sticks in your consciousness. And why are we saying this? Because by now you know that we're not English or American. And by the way, if you don't know this, we are 3/4 Greek and 1/4 Dutch, because Alexandra is half Dutch. Okay, so why are we putting all this effort in our communication? Because we care.
Exactly.
And that said, there was a question yesterday, something
Yes.
that Pete Vargas said about grants.
Kids. So the homeschooling teacher for Grant Cardone's kids asked the parents, what are the subjects that you would like your kids to excel in? So we adjust the teaching. And you know what Grant replied? I was trying to figure out the answer in my mind while waiting for the answer.
Yeah.
And he said, I want them to be great communicators, because if they are great communicators, they will be able to achieve anything in life. And this struck me. What an answer. And it is true if you think about it. And this is our intro, right? Because yesterday was all about communication. Okay? So Pete Vargas was on stage and he shared two very powerful frameworks. The 4C framework for getting unlimited customers, and the Storybraid framework, which basically is your signature talk, which is a super powerful marketing tool. And we will go over through this with you so that you can get the highlights and take some notes. So, shall we start?
Of course.
Okay. So, first of all of humanity wants to overcome some issue in these three areas Pete explained to us: health, wealth, and relationships.
And just because our internet marketing background goes back to as early as 2009, our very early mentors were telling us this simple thing. Your new product, if you make sure that your new product fits into any of these three niches, you are fine, because they're so huge that you will definitely find market in them. You will definitely find an audience for your angle, your solution to a greater problem like health. And of course, within health, there are so many pain issues and so many weight loss issues and so on. With relationships, again, you have, like, how can I get married, or how can I find my soulmate, or how can I avoid a divorce and so on. And of course, last but not least, finances. There are so many angles you can go about it. So these are huge subjects, and Pete explained this 4C framework.
The 4C framework, because through this 4C framework, you can help others overcome one of the three areas in which you are specializing.
Exactly.
Right? So this is the whole concept, and that's why we made this introduction. So the 4C framework for acquiring unlimited customers has this first three steps, first of all. Because step number 4, as Pete said, we will start with step number 4, and it is customers. So everything we do in step number 1, 2, and 3 is to lead to an unlimited funnel of customers, which is the fourth and the conclusion of the whole framework. So number 1 is clarity. You have to get extreme, laser-focused, crystal clarity on several things. 1, who are you serving? 2, what is your product and service that can help them? Okay? And number 3, what is their problem? Okay? So what do they need to overcome? You have a product or service that you have already overcome the issue that they want to overcome. So you are here to help them now, right? And now you can present your product or service to them. And
by the way, I want to add something, because I want to also give credit to our amazing mentor, Joel Roberts.
Yes.
And one of the things in the first time we met in one of his signature seminars, what he said is, where most people get it wrong is that they sell the solution before they sell the problem.
Yes, this is very powerful.
And this is a game changer. And think about it in your marketing. Are you selling the problem or you're going straight to the solution? Because if you think about it, many ads are doing this, like, are you feeling this pain? And now they have your attention. So now it is time to go to the solution. And the third step, of course, is why me? Why my product? Why my service? So you sell the problem, you sell the solution you're offering, and then you sell you, your identity, your unique selling proposition, why you instead of any other
Exactly.
competitive product or
Exactly.
service.
Second step of the framework is confidence. C number 2, right? What are we talking about specifically when
We need a lot
confidence?
of confidence because failure is not
It's
an
not
option.
an option, exactly. Confidence, it means that I have overcome already a certain issue, right? And now I know the result, I know I overcame it, so now I have the confidence to go out there and help others overcome too, right? Like Pete Vargas said, I believe he said very sincerely that the entrepreneurs are going to change and save the world. Why? Because so many people are coming out with different solutions for various things that so many of us are looking for, right? So you can be one of them. We are one of them, okay? Offering solutions to other people because we've been through the path and you don't want other people to suffer or to be struggling finding a solution. So you have the confidence to go out there and present your solution. And step number 3 is, of course, communication, right? Like Angelo said, you have gone through this path. Now you have to find a way to communicate this, to communicate what you are offering. And this leads to the second framework, which is a brilliant and genius way of communicating what you need to communicate to your audience. And this also, Pete says, it could be, and it is a tool, a super powerful marketing tool. It is your signature talk.
And by the way,
yes,
I don't have my guilty card with me today.
I have your guilty card. Here it is.
Guilty, because I have been working on what is called like your signature talk and so on. But Pete yesterday took it to the next level because he said you need to be able to do that wherever you are.
Right.
Like when you're having a coffee with a friend or
Right.
some
in 1 minute to
exactly,
1 hour. Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
And this time pressure takes us back to what we said before with Mark Twain, right? If I had more time, I would have written a shorter letter. Another way to see this is that if I had more time, I would have crafted a more impactful message.
Mhm.
I would have accelerated my journey of value and profit because simply every single word that comes out of my mouth creates an impact to you, to the marketplace, to the audience at large, to humanity at large.
Exactly. And let's see the steps of the Storybraid framework, right? There are 4 steps to this. And as Angelo mentioned, Pete said you should be working on this throughout time and really master it. Every word should have its place. Every word counts. Have the shorter version, the medium version, the extra large version. You might have like 5 minutes on the street, or you might be standing on the stage for an hour. So this can become smaller or larger, okay? So step number 1 is heart. Start with the heart. Start from the heart always.
Start with a story that connects you, your heart, with your audience's heart. Connects your soul with your audience's soul. And now you truly have their attention. You touch them with a story that is relevant, of course, to your message, right? So in order to get your attention in this webinar, at the beginning of this webinar, we told you a story about 2 kids that we met yesterday at the VIP group and what an impact they made to our lives and how this translates to you taking more action now that it matters. So it all has to do with how you start and how impactful this first step is, as far as I'm concerned. Because then you tend to lose your audience.
Yes. And there is one twist which is very, very important. Present the story from their point of view, as if you were in their shoes, in your audience's shoes, right? You're not presenting the story from your point of view necessarily. You are presenting it, of course, it's your story, your journey, but present it in a way that makes it relevant to them, right? Otherwise, you don't have the attention enough to capture the audience.
Correct.
Step number 2, we go now from the heart to the head. And what does this mean? This is time to teach, okay? So now it is time, based on your story and based on what they need to overcome, to teach in 3 to maximum 5 steps what you have to offer that will take them from point A to point B. Okay?
Okay, so let me write something here.
Yes.
Not, you cannot see this, not guilty, because it's one of the things that I truly care about when I create a webinar. And there are so many internet marketers out there who work, like exactly the opposite. They would take advantage of your attention. And what Pete said yesterday, they will not teach you, but they will tease you towards their offer.
Not cool.
And
Yes.
Meaning that the value that they promised in the beginning of the webinar will be given after you purchase their product. So the difference maker here for us, because me and Alexandra, we also have a digital marketing agency here in Greece, and one of our core frameworks is called Meet, Love, Sell. So the love part, the middle part, is giving enough value to you regardless of whether you will become our client or not anytime in the future. And this is how we demonstrate our unconditional love to you. And also, this demonstrates our abundance mindset. There are 8 billion of you out there. We will surely find enough clients to fit into our financial goals. Okay? So, very powerful stuff.
Very powerful. Step number 3 is now we go to the hand. And when we say hand, we mean ask your audience to raise their hand that, yes, I'm interested for your product or service. I am in.
Yes.
It is what we call in the digital marketing space the call to action. But also here, Pete had a very valuable insight. Tell them that you will be taking them from A to B. Make it simple.
Yes.
Don't promise them or make it like I will take you from A to Z. People do not react to from A to Z. It is too much. It is too far. It is too overwhelming. They will not do it. It will create like an overwhelming sensation to them. So keep it simple. This is what you want to overcome. I told you a story. These are the 3 to 5 steps. Now you can buy this with from A to B and nothing more. Right?
Can I give a simple example with this?
Yes, please.
So I have a brand new course that sells for $1 million because it is very valuable, right? And I'm losing you already, I know, but it is very valuable because it will relieve stress from your life forever. And of course, you don't know me that much, only for 3 days now that we do these webinars, and you don't trust me, right? But what if I tell you now, take 2, 3 very deep, slow breaths, like, and you start to relax already. So maybe now you say, okay, so Angelo knows what he's talking about.
Exactly.
He gave me a simple way to relieve stress now. So what he's promising, for his product that has not 1, but like 10 ways to relieve stress, depending on circumstances and so on, might work. And this is all you need. You need to give them like the first step so that they can truly understand that if they can go from A to B, as Alexandra said, then they can go to C, D, E, and eventually reach their destination. So if I help you, for instance, if your financial destination is from where you are right now, $1 million away, and I help you to make your first $100, then immediately I gain your attention and I gain credibility over you. And this is what matters. It truly matters that you take the first step towards your clients and make sure they get some initial results and prove your methods with their initial results.
Exactly. And step number 4, and before I go there, this is super, super powerful. Why? Most marketers will stop at step number 3, right? Story, I did something,
it's very
and then
common,
I make
actually.
an offer. This is the usual practice of the market, actually, exactly. And then Pete said, no, No, don't be this kind of marketer or salesman or business person. Step number 4, super powerful, which reinforces the entire framework and the
Yes.
entire process. Go back to the heart. Close your presentation, your signature talk, with another story that reinforces everything you have been talking about, and put everybody again, yourself and your audience, back into their heart. It's much more powerful to connect from heart to heart, right?
Exactly.
So this was very, very nicely presented. It's very simple, it's easy to remember, and the better you craft and you master this, the better results you will have.
Just because before we go to TD Jakes, can
Yes.
I repeat the two frameworks? Because
Yes, yes.
we've been talking for like 15 minutes now on these two frameworks, and I want you to get how clear and simple they are.
Yes.
Number one, the 4 C's, right? It's clarity, confidence, communication, customers. You begin by getting more clarity, and in 3 simple steps, you get as many customers as you want. And then how you craft a much better, more effective, more powerful, more impactful speech. You do it with the second framework, which is heart, head, hand, heart.
Exactly.
As simple as that. But of course, it will take time and energy on your end to craft, to take advantage of these
Yes.
these two new frameworks and put it in what? Your operating system.
Exactly.
Make it part of your day.
And optimize.
Operate from
And
that end.
optimize. And as we always say, optimize, optimize, optimize
Yeah.
until it works. The framework itself is powerful. It has been proven, it has been tested. Now you have to adapt it to your own message. And of course, I was also thinking now, as a digital marketer, it's not, this framework does not only apply to speeches or face-to-face discussion, it also applies to your digital communication.
Exactly.
To your website
Yeah.
pages, right? To your landing pages or your email
Everything.
copy, right? So keep it in your mind. It's a universal framework for applying and getting customers. And then TD Jakes, Bishop
Boom.
TD Jakes, entered the stage. Eloquent speech and very powerful communicator.
Very powerful.
It is not by chance that he was invited on stage on the day that everybody was talking about communication, right?
Yeah. Incredible.
Exactly. And he started, we have summoned some key highlights from his speech for you. First of all, what we liked very much, he said, everything rises and falls on your ability to communicate.
Yeah.
Very powerful, right? Everything rises and falls on your ability to communicate. So how impactful your use of words are, your choice of words, your vocabulary.
Okay, so let us give you like an insight, right? We are in Greece. We are thousands of miles away.
Yes.
We are looking at yesterday where we're using our iPad to watch the challenge, and we were watching TD Jakes, who was not even in the challenge. He was where was he?
He was in the challenge and
in another area.
Yes, no, he was in Dallas.
In
yes,
Dallas,
yes,
right?
Yes.
So, can you imagine that you can truly touch people's hearts from wherever you are, just using your smartphone? But not only your smartphone, but smartly selected words with smartly selected attitude.
Exactly.
This is what TD Jakes yesterday helped me appreciate the time and effort I put to craft my message. The time and effort I put to create a much more impactful webinar, a much more impactful public speech, or whatever it is, or even every single daily shot of inspiration that I'm writing since January 1st, 2015. I always started writing, and my mind was always fixated on one thing alone. How can I leave you on a higher emotional state than when you began reading a few seconds ago? And remember, the selection of words that you truly put into your message could have a humongous impact on others.
Yes.
And of course, sometimes you don't know that. As Trent Shelton says, you don't know how far this ripple effect goes.
You will never know.
But what truly matters is that you craft your message. You take the time.
Yes, exactly. A second keeper from TD Jakes was, and this was, I liked it very much, about the vision. You remember? A vision you can fulfill yourself is far too small for you.
Boom.
Boom. It made me think, right? Because his point was you need people around you.
Yes.
And when we unite forces, we are able to do so much more together. So, yes, it is true. If you have a vision that you can fulfill yourself, it is simply too small. You make it bigger, so you need to include more people, right?
Exactly.
To spread the word, to have a bigger
And
impact
you need
in the
more
world.
people to fall in love with your message, fall
Exactly.
in love with what
Exactly.
you want to share.
It's always more powerful to have a team.
By the way, I know this is a business event, and I know that the end of these stories have to end to profit. Otherwise, they don't mean anything in the business world. But let me remind you this: communication, all these skills of communication go back to your family as well, can be applied to your family.
Oh, yes, of course.
And maybe most importantly,
friends, yes.
to you. You need to communicate better to you. You need to become a better communication to you, inspire you, help you, take you by the hand from where you are to where you want to go. Make you trust you with the selection of words that you use and the actions that you take.
Very powerful, yes. Okay, next one from TD Jakes. Don't go for profit, go for purpose. If you go for purpose, the profit will find you.
Amazing.
So much
If
more
you find purpose,
heartfelt.
profit will find you.
Yes, because he mentioned, he knows, of course, many business owners. He said many business owners are focused on making money alone for the mere purpose of surviving, of course, let alone to thrive. And then they find themselves to be successful later on, but it feels empty. And why go through life like this, right? Life is an amazing journey. Have a purpose bigger than yourself, have a purpose to serve, and then the profits will find you.
Great.
Next one, become a student of your next. And what does it mean? Become a student of the next version of yourself who will go out in the world and achieve what you want to achieve. And this applies to various levels. He said, start studying your next self. Start thinking like him. Start acting like him. Start dressing like him. Start learning the words you need to learn. If you want to grow your business, you want to be in new meeting rooms with new people. What kind of language do they speak? How do you what subjects do you need to study to be able to discuss with them? Always be thinking forward and be jumping into the next version of yourself and matching this version, and this will bring the growth that you want on a personal level and on a business level.
This is, by the way, what we call your super self,
Yes,
right?
yes.
The ideal version of you from where you stand right now. And although your body is where you are right now, you want your mind and your heart to be as much as possible during the day where your super self lives. Because what will happen is, instead of trying to run away from your past or in a stressed manner chase your future, you will simply be pulled by your future. Your super self, I know it is an imaginary person, but what you need to understand is that for your subconscious mind, imagination and what we perceive as reality is the same thing.
Yes.
And what that means is that this imaginary person, like as we say, Grant has already been to the billion-dollar side, so he can tell you, how to get there. In the same manner, your super self has been exactly to where you want to go. So you need to trust that voice, to listen to that voice, to crowd out everything else, all the noise and all the limiting beliefs that are in your way, because your super self is already exactly where you want to go.
Exactly. Otherwise, you would not have this desire,
Exactly.
right? It's a different version that already exists.
So,
Next one from TT Jakes. This one we discussed about. It's very, very good. You cannot be at the same time sensitive and successful.
yes.
Right? The more you grow your business, the more you grow your social exposure, the haters
There
and the
will be
naysayers
challenges.
will appear. There
Yeah.
will be challenges. There will be people who will come and say various things about you. You cannot stop and listen to them. You disregard and you move on, right? Because especially in this world of social media, you know, where it's very easy for everybody just to comment and to make some criticism. TD Jake said, I have no time for that. I have to save the world. I have
Yes.
to move on.
So
No drama.
his message,
Yes.
his message to us was as simple as that. Get over it. You have a
Yes,
world
to
to
save.
change.
Yes, yes.
So it is very vital. Your time, your energy, your attention, your emotional state need to be as high as possible so that you can be of value to others, and then you can be remunerated for that value that you bring out to the marketplace.
Exactly. And finally, very beautiful saying. The ears of the world are open to what you have to say. The ears of the world are open to what you have to say. Speak your next in spite of your now. Don't drop the mic. Rise up to the mic. This was very beautiful,
Very powerful.
Very powerful.
And this immediately took me back to, my mind went back to the 19-year-old from California who is definitely being challenged right now because he's basically trying to find a solution for all these homeless people. And last time we've been to San Diego with Alex, because Pete mentioned
San Diego.
San
and they
Diego.
said they could
And
not
the
believe,
last time we've
yes,
been to San Diego with Alexandra
many
is
homeless.
almost about 10 years ago. And back then, one of the things that we remember, there were some amazing memories, but one of the things that we remember is how many homeless people
Yes.
we saw.
I
So
imagine
yesterday,
how it was.
immediately we resonated with his message. And can you imagine, his now could be such an incredible, such a comfortable excuse for him to let go of everything, you know?
Yes, of course.
I don't have the right circumstances.
I don't have the circumstances.
So I can give up.
Who am I to do
Instead,
it? Yes.
instead, being homeless, what was it, like 2-3 times?
His family has gone through almost losing their home 3
Almost,
times.
right.
Yes.
So, even so, he somehow managed to be in the VIP
Exactly.
group. And not only that, he had the courage, even though he definitely was not ready, to speak up his message. And this is all it takes for you right now to get to the next level. Just speak up, just commit, just take the next step. And you know what? They say the teacher will appear. No, the teacher will not only appear. If you just commit and taking the next step, like signing up for the Unbreakable business system, this is just one step away
Yes.
for you. But then the teachers grant his A-team us. We will be taking you by the hand for the whole year and making sure that we take this system and install it into your operating system, into your consciousness, so that you and your partners and your customers operate from that premise.
Exactly.
And this is how we grow. So, that said, I believe, because we are almost 20 minutes away from the 4th day of the Unbreakable Challenge, and let us remind you, you can click the link below that you will find to take you to priming of day 1, where you can go through the guided process of priming that we do. We will just remind you the steps so that you can go through them in like 3 to 5 minutes time once we sign off from here. And step number 1, perspective. Immediately when you shift your perspective, everything changes for you. So you think of people who are in a much more difficult situation than you, and you think of people who are in a much better situation than you. The one immediately relieves you from all resistance, and the other inspires you and pulls you forward. Then forgiveness. Let go of people and circumstances you still need to forgive. And remember, you don't forgive necessarily because they deserve it. You forgive because you want to let go of this bitterness, let go of this lower emotional state, of this weight that you still carry with you. Then you're ready for gratitude. and you go about a rampage of gratitude, starting from simple things like the oxygen that you breathe right now, without which you wouldn't be alive in a few minutes' time, right? And it is given abundantly to us for free, the most valuable resource, basically. So then you're ready. By the way, if you cannot find 20 things to be grateful for right now, what you need to do?
Write down 30.
Exactly. Find 30. And
Yes.
now you're ready for love. And of course, always you start with the most difficult part, which is unconditional self-love. So you look yourself in the mirror when we sign off, and you say to yourself in the eyes of, you look yourself in the eyes, the windows of your soul, and say, I love you, and mean it, and feel it. Give yourself a hug. Pat yourself on the back for being fully present during these 3 days, and knowing that you will be fully present for the remaining 2 days of the challenge. And now you're ready for clarity, because from that emotional state, you can truly see how many possibilities you have and what things are possible for you from that state. And then you can know exactly where you want to go. You can crowd out all the desires that were simply, like borrowed from Instagram, and you can clearly see your authentic desires. And last but not least, you do the happy landing exercise where you close your eyes for like a minute and you see, and most importantly, feel yourself at your destination. You don't think, for instance, for $1 million, you think of yourself with $1 million. How do you feel now? How do you feel now? And amplify that feeling and elevate your emotional state. And now I'm sure enough that you are ready for day 4 of the Unbreakable Challenge, which will be all about sales.
Sales, and more sales.
And for me personally, I know that the first 3 days were like a warm-up for day 4.
Yes.
And day 4 will surely enough be a warm-up for day 5 tomorrow, which is scaling.
Yes.
Which is the thing that most people struggle with, right?
Right,
so
exactly.
Let's do this. Day 4, Grant Cardone and Elena Cardone on sales and how to truly grow your business with sales.
Enjoy day 4, and we will see
Make
you
the most of it.
with the
Keep
review.
enough. Come with an open mind and open notebook. Keep notes, and we will be back with you tomorrow with the review of day 4 and priming for day 5. Ciao, ciao.
Ciao, ciao.